Hello everyone, today is September 26th, day 356 of the war between Israel and Gaza. And unfortunately, we still have 101 hostages in Gaza. These are the articles for today. We have a lot going on up north. So here we have Haslama or Hasdara, an escalation or a settlement about the deal that could go underway about the north. Here it says Al Gvul Ha'esh, on the border or on the edge of fire, an article about soldiers that have been up north and been fighting the fight for almost 11 months. And then here you have Meguyasot, drafted, the wives of the soldiers that have been drafted for a few rounds. Let's get to the news. Here it says Herchut Tzva'it, military preparation. After another hard day in which a lot of the range of the missiles has been broadened in Israel, Tzahal, the IDF, is preparing for a new stage in the fight against Hezbollah. So that's one thing that's happening now. Amongst this potential deal, the US has basically stepped in and asked for a ceasefire. Netanyahu says here, Rege'ei hachra'ah, moments of decision. The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has given a green light to continue these negotiations, but he said that it will not happen under a ceasefire, that we will continue the war in full force to protect our citizens. Here it says, Maga'im Medinim. Yesterday, within the diplomatic attempts to try and get to some kind of deal or settlement that the United States is bringing forward to the table, they might include, or trying to include, a ceasefire or a diplomatic agreement that will also bring to the end of the war in the south and also includes hostages. According to a contact in Beirut, Hezbollah is open to a deal that might include Gaza. Here you can see in this picture the south of Lebanon, that an ammunition storage place that the IDF had attacked. During the last few days, the IDF has gone into Lebanon and specifically attacked their ammunition. Now, just like the Hamas does in Gaza, Hezbollah takes their rockets and they store them in civilian areas and underneath civilian homes. So make no mistake about it, the IDF finds these places, and they've actually told the Lebanese citizens there to get out of that area if they know that the Hezbollah has stored those rockets in their houses or in their surroundings. They're giving them a fair chance to leave. But the IDF has not stopped attacking those ammunitions because they know that those rockets are intended for Israel and the north. Here you can see in this picture the chief of staff surrounded by different army personnel, giving them instructions about the continuation of the war. And then here you can see in the Galil HaMa'aravi, in the western Galilee, in Kibbutz Sa'ar, a direct hit on one of the houses. You can see here the damage that happened. It literally took out the whole wall. So the situation up north is very, very tense. I feel like all of Israel is sort of holding their breath to see what's going to happen, because Israel has been systematically taking out all of the heads of Hezbollah, all of their commanders, and there's only about 3 that are left, the top of them being Nasrallah. So we're going to continue this war, but not under a ceasefire. For 11 months, the IDF and the soldiers in reserve have been up north and have been risking their lives. So here it says, Impagaz Bakane, with a shell in the barrel. And you can see here the IDF soldiers, male and female soldiers, with these shells. They're basically gunners that have been up north and in a very vulnerable position, fighting sort of, toe-to-toe against Hezbollah. They're in very exposed places. And so you know that these soldiers are very much committed. And it says here, Hezbollah will meet a koach esh, a strength of the fire, shem lo chalmu alav, that they've never even dreamed about. Higia hazman lenatzach, it is time to win. These gunners of the battalion 411 of the 282 brigade have been there literally for months, and they're waiting for the moment of truth, basically to show their full strength in this war to protect the people of the north. It says here, נעשה הכל כדי להגן ולדאוג להשבת הביטחון. We'll do everything to protect and make sure that security is given back to the people of the north. Here you can see in Tzfat a house that got a direct hit. You can quite literally see that it's been completely demolished. The roof is no longer, it hit inside of the house. And this place in Osofia, it doesn't actually have a safe room. So a lot of the people, again, up north, they are subjected to these rockets and these drones, but without a safe place, like a bomb shelter or a protective room. Here you can also see another picture in Osofia of people just going on in their daily lives. You know, you can see this woman and a kid taking their groceries back home, not knowing if at any moment a rocket or a drone could potentially hit them. Before we continue with the north, I want to show you guys something that is just absolutely horrendous about the 6 hostages in Gaza that were basically executed and murdered. You might know some of their faces. You have here Hirsch, Goldberg Polin, Edin Yerushalmi, Carmel Gat, Alex Lobanov, Ori Danino, and Almog Sarusi. It says, Hurevu, Unu, Vesardu Betat Naim. They were starved, they were tortured, and they survived inhumane conditions. Vehutzu lahoreg, and they were executed. Alex Serad mishmonim veshesh le-60 kilo. Alex went down from 86 kilos to only 60. And Hirsch nirtzach b'mishkal 52. Hirsch was murdered when he only weighed 52 kilos. This is an article that came out from the Times that are basically pointing the finger at Hamas and their monstrous actions, but also against our government, against the Israeli government, world leaders and international celebrities that were afraid to show their support publicly. And it says that all of these people will not come back. They'll never be able to, but bring back the 101 brothers and sisters, their 101 brothers and sisters in Gaza. And now to the heroic wives of the heroes up north. It says here, Meguyasot be'al korchan. They're drafted reluctantly. And there's a few stories here of the wives of these IDF soldiers that have been drafted for such a long time up north or in Gaza. And it says here, in the beginning, you know, in the first seviv, because a seviv is basically like a first round. So they've had a few rounds by now after a year. And the first seviv, we received, you know, phone calls of support from everyone. Our workplaces asked how we are. They would send us gifts and even offer help, said one of them. But this time, nothing. So this is already the 3rd or 4th round for some of these wives of these reservists. And they don't have a lot of support. And they said here, it's as if we're sort of taken for granted. And here you can see Mishpachat Mordechai, in which the family, the mother, was literally forced to quit her job because there wasn't enough support to be able to raise the kids and go to work. Here you can see Mishpachat Solomon, a husband and wife with 4 kids, and it says, Hacharada v'mo'aka, anxiety and distress. The kids have basically asked their father not to go because they know that if the war up north escalates and there's a ground invasion of Israel into Lebanon, their father could be at risk, so they're asking him not to go. And here you have the Mishpachat Nativ Bar, the Nativ Bar family, that the wife basically, she collapsed because of the stress, and she found herself in the emergency room because she had to leave her job. She didn't have a lot of help, and she quite literally just couldn't take it anymore and found herself in the hospital. So it's not just the heroes that are fighting for us day and night, but it's also the families that they leave at home, because these women are also fighting for their little core home day and night. We're coming into the holiday season now in Israel, and this caricature shows the hardship that these families go through. Here you can see in this caricature 2 men speaking with each other. One says, Efo ata beRosh Hashanah? Where are you on Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year? And the other man who is holding a Tzav Shmone, which is basically a call into service for reservists. And then here it says, Oseh Roshem Shebedachya. I'm getting the impression that I'll be doing Rosh Hashanah in Dachya. Dachya is in Beirut, the capital of Lebanon. And so the impression that he's getting is basically while his wife and children are at home, sitting around the Rosh Hashanah dinner table, he will be literally on ground, surrounded by Hezbollah terrorists. So this is the reality that we're living in, and it's a very real possibility. Speaking about Rosh Hashanah, we will end with some Rosh Hashanah figures about what happened in the last year in Israel. Yatzanu Eser, they're saying we sort of came out like 10, sort of like 10 out of 10 is like sort of like a 100% or giving a thumbs up. Just in a few weeks from now, Israel will reach 10 million civilians living in Israel. We're growing in this little tiny state of ours. And here are the figures that you can see. We've had, over the past year, 183,000 babies that were born. 33,000 new immigrants arrived to Israel over the past year. Simultaneously, 43,000 had left Israel. A lot of that probably has to do, of course, due to the war, trying to find greener pastures. The life expectancy for men has gone to 81, and for women, 85.5. So not only are we fighting for our lives, but we live a long time here in Israel because we're a strong nation. So we'll leave you guys with that, and wanted to say thank you guys so much for praying. We have so much bad news that it's so nice to see some growth, and we're thankful that you guys are part of the plan to strengthen Israel's hands through your prayers and through you watching this channel. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you want more Israel-related content, go to allisrael.com, and we'll see you guys in the next one.